Welcome to the latest episode of the Podiatry Business Podcast with myself, Lorcan O'Donaile. The title of today's podcast is How to Use AI Voice to Book More Patients. Yes, AI Voice is now good enough and it is being used by us for our clients and in my own clinic for following up with patients and getting them to book in. So traditionally, what would happen is you would run some sort of marketing campaign and you would then get what we call a lead. So a lead is someone who's not a patient. They haven't booked in yet. There's someone who have accepted your request to communicate with them to see will they book in. Now, what you will have to do is you'll have to follow up with those people. Now, part of that follow-up is phone calling them. So it is basically calling those people that you've got their contact details. Now, the problem with this is that you have to manually do it. You have to dial in the number and pick up the phone, whatever way you're going to do this. Now, what we've been finding is that clients of ours are getting leads from these automated marketing campaigns, be they Google, Facebook, Instagram, whatever. But what we're finding is that with the follow-up of these leads, in some cases it's extremely bad and in some cases it's okay. And in most cases what tends to happen is that those clinics are losing the leads because they're not actually responding to them quickly enough. So the lead might come in on a Sunday night at 9 o'clock and the clinic literally isn't open, so no one's going to get back to them until some stage on Monday if they're able to get back. And in many cases what happens is the front desk has too much work. The burden on the front desk is too much. They're dealing with incoming phone calls, people looking to book appointments. Maybe they're dealing with people coming in who've got an appointment. Maybe they're rebooking patients, etc. Maybe they're dealing with the staff, the clinical staff, trying to help them. And as a result, they don't have the time to be able to ring a lead back as fast as they should. And ideally what you want to be doing with ringing a lead is you want to be calling people within 5 minutes. Because the longer you leave it to contact someone after you've got them as a lead, the colder they become and the less likely to follow up. And I think it is, you have a 80% drop-off rate within 10 minutes if you haven't followed up with that lead in some capacity. So the problem with traditional follow-up, outgoing cold calling, is it depends on a person, and that person can be busy or they can be just not very good at their job. So we wanted to help our clients overcome this. So what we have developed is what we call our first step AI follow-up system. So the first step one, is where we have pretty much instant engagement. So what we're doing is we're using the critical 1 minute window. So within a minute of getting a lead's contact details, be they filling in a form on Google or Facebook or on your website or whatever way we do it, we're going to engage with them within a minute. Within 1 minute, we're going to send them out an SMS to engage with them and to request conversation. So we would know what scripts, etc. to do. And it's an automated text that goes out. And the reason we do this is because research tells us that texts are read, I think it's 96% within 5 minutes. So people are even 96% chance that if you send a text to a lead that they're going to read that text within 5 minutes. Whereas with a manual, it's almost impossible for you to get all of your leads phoned back within 5 minutes. Now, step two is that then if that person will respond to that text, then the AI-powered bot will triage that patient. So what they will do is the AI SMS bot at this point, we're not talking voice at this stage, AI SMS bot will engage with the patient and they will ask the kind of questions that your front desk would do if they were speaking to them. See, we train the bot to speak as it would do as your front desk does. So once it's done that and it's triaged the patient, so for example, have you been with us before? How long are you having the problem? What is the problem? For example, if it's a podiatry clinic, do you have a musculoskeletal problem? Do you have plantar fasciitis? Do you have an ingrown tunnel? And they're all different types of appointments. Once it's figured this out, then what it will do is it will offer an appointment. It'll suggest X, Y, or Z appropriate appointment depending on your clinic. Then it will ask that lead if they're interested. If they say yes, they will then automatically send them out a link so they can book online. And what's happening is it's meaning that our clients and my own clinic, that patients are having conversations with members of my team, AI-powered members of my team, 24/7, 365 days a year, and booking in these appointments. Now, step 3 is for those who are not ready necessarily to take that step, because not everybody's going to do that, take that step. And what we want to do is we want to nurture these people. So we call it the AI nurturing sequence. And what the bot will do, the SMS bot will do, is it'll identify those that it can see are not ready to make that. And it will move quickly then to step 4, which is the AI voice integration. And what will happen is it will then offer to speak to a member of the team. So to speak, not just text, but to speak to a member of the team. So so you'll have some people who are not ready to book, but they may be ready to have a chat with somebody, or they'd like to talk to someone rather than do it via text. And the text will then say, would you like to speak to someone? And then the AI voice will kick in, and the AI voice will ring them. Now, rather than just ringing them, the SMS AI bot will say, we're going to call you in the next 2 minutes, and we're going to call you from this number. And the reason we do that is it avoids people thinking, well, this is spam, because they know that you're calling them and they know that the number you're going to call them from. So when you do call them a minute or two later, that they recognize it and they're going to answer it. And what that does then is it brings your answering percentages from about 5% to about 75 to 80%. Then the AI voice will make the call, and it will have a natural conversation. And this is the power of it now. It has ability and the capabilities of having a natural conversation, just like your front desk would too. It will speak to them, it will warm them up, and then what it will do is, rather than try to book them in, it will suggest that we transfer them to a member of our team, a human being. So it will then live transfer to a member of the team, be it your front desk, or if you're a client of mine, you're availing of our call center service, to my team, who will make the call, who will make the booking for you. So what happens then is the AI voice phones the lead, speaks to the lead, gets them to agree to a conversation, and it will live transfer to a human who will then book them in there and then into your calendar for you. Now, why that matters is that rather than the old style where, for example, you're having to call 100 leads that are cold calling, you literally have to type in the number every time, that you're not making any outgoing calls. The AI voice does that. It only does it to people who it thinks are ready to have a conversation, who've agreed to that conversation. And then it's only transferring to your team those who are ready to book an appointment, and much warmer leads. It means that your team then, therefore, don't have to spend time chasing leads that are just not going to convert, or maybe even not answer the phone. So that's step 4. And what you end up with is more warmer transfers, and it works better for you and for your team. Now, the benefits of this is it eliminates cold calling, which your team tend to hate. It gives you the ability to have 24/7 automated follow-up. Okay, so you might say to me, well, what do I do, Lorcan, if my clinic isn't open? So what if the AI text has the conversation on a Sunday afternoon, and the AI voice then phones on a Sunday afternoon, but my clinic isn't open and I can't take the call if it transfers it? Well, that's the genius of the AI. What it will do is it will have a conversation with the lead and say, look, our human team isn't actually in clinic right now. They'll be back tomorrow at these times. Why don't we arrange for me to ring you back at this time, and I will then transfer you. So it will then set itself, the AI voice will set itself an appointment to ring the lead back at the time that the lead has agreed to make the call. Again, it will text out and say, I'm going to call you now as agreed. I'm going to call you from this number. I'll ring you in the next 60 seconds. It rings, and then it transfers to your team at a time that they're actually there. That way you're not wasting time, and you're not having it transferring calls to a phone number when you're not there to answer it. So it's a 24/7 automated follow-up system. It leads to higher quality of conversations. So your team are only dealing with people who are more ready to say yes, rather than those who are far more skeptical and in some cases can even be rude. It's a better use of your staff's time, and it leads to increased conversion rates. So this is how we're using our AI voice in our follow-up for our podiatry clinic clients, and it's something that I suggest that you look at, you consider bringing into your clinic, because it is the future. And I would expect that the majority of clinics, certainly the progressive clinics, certainly the ones I work with, will have this within their clinics within the next year to 2 years. My clients are doing so in the next, some are already getting it, and some are getting it in the next few weeks. If this is something you're interested in, if you want to talk to us about maybe helping you with this sort of stuff, then just reach out to us through email. Go to Podiatry Patients on Tap, fill in a form if you want to. We'll have a conversation. It'll be a real human will ring you, and we can have a conversation and see how we can help you. If not, my advice is go and look at AI, go and look at AI bots, and see how it can transform your clinic and end up with you giving support and answering to your patients and potential patients 24/7, even while closed.